And another thing that I add here is announcements. And so here, because in the intensive English program that I work at, there are different events for students. Sometimes they go to volunteer at a retirement home, or sometimes there are important visa issues that they need to take care of. But sometimes some students forget about it, although they get emails, but oftentimes students don't check their student emails. So I put it up here just so that they are, I keep them informed about different things. Okay?
Sometimes it's all about the scattershot approach to information. Give it to them as many times as you possibly can, and some of it might eventually stick.
And then if it's a certain holiday, I even put a link to maybe the History Channel or Discovery Channel or something that talks a little bit about these different holidays that we have here in this country. And I think this one, because oftentimes students ask me about historical, or holidays in our country, but I only have a certain amount of time in class, and we have to cover certain parts of the curriculum and stuff like that. And so this one is a link to the History Channel, and it gives students links to the history of Thanksgiving, and there are videos here. And again, this is free. You don't have to pay for it, you don't have to pay for it, and you don't have to worry about legal issues because it's linked to that History Channel. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the different applications that you can use for online. And again, all of these are free. Now, one thing I noticed is that some of my students don't have Microsoft Office. And in the schools that we teach at, oftentimes students, the work that they turn in is either through Microsoft Office or stuff like that. And what Google has done is created Google Docs right here. And this is free. And it gives people who don't have Microsoft Office access to word processing programs, presentation programs, spreadsheets, things like that.
The downside to Google Docs is that if you don't have an internet connection, you don't have whatever it is that you're working on.
Therefore, we put another link here, which is openoffice.org. And this is...
And it's completely free. You can use you can record multiple times. You actually get to see the waveform, and I've used this for pronunciation. I will record something, and one of my students will record something. We can put them together, sort of match the tempo, and see where his pronunciation or her pronunciation differs in the pitch, in the volume, in the timing, because you can see when they're pausing, things like that.
Do you find that it's accurate? Because like Rosetta Stone, I can say something and I speak English without an accent, and then, it won't be the same as the Rosetta Stone. If I say is it accurate? Is it really?
Well, as far as being perfectly accurate, I would say probably not, but I think it's a good tool to show, if you find that a student is particularly choppy and saying word after word, you can say, you can record the same thing and show them, look, that your word ends, and then the next word, then there's a pause, and then there's the next word, and it ends, and at least give them a visual reference. Oh wow, I didn't know that I'm stopping all sound completely for...
What file extension does that save as and record?
It can save as a wave or OGG. You can also have it save as MP3.
And we also put a few other links to different free applications like Hot Potato. Are you guys familiar with that? Okay, let me just show you what you can do with Hot Potato, but I can't really go through how to do it. Okay, so for my students, this is really good for like vocabulary and practice. And I use a lot of PowerPoint in my class, and so I put all the PowerPoint, all the handouts I gave in class up here as well for each day. And so
The joy of technology is that it's always available. The problem with it is that it takes a little bit more time, sometimes a lot more time to actually create it. But once you're done creating it, like any other resource, you have the freedom to do some minor tweaks to it, minor changes, but overall you don't have to change all that much.
And if you have a lot of other colleagues who also use these kind of stuff, you can always share so that you're not spending all your time creating all this by yourself. Okay? And so this one is from Hot Potato, so you can make little quizzes for the students. And as you can see, you can actually make a timer to get them going, or you can turn off the timer, that's up to you. Okay? And so students go up here for vocabulary practice, and I think this gives them a lot more practice than what we do in class, or what we can actually do in class. So they go up here, play with this several times until they get a good handle on some of these words that they should be learning for my class. Okay, and what other things that I do here is, for example, my students in my class, they give a lot of presentations, and they're fabulous presentations. My students, the PowerPoint skills they have, amazing. And so what I do is, whatever presentations they give in class, I have a whole page for that. And I just put the link to their PowerPoint presentations, and I give them credit, put their names. I leave out their first name, just their last name. And so that other students can go there and also use these resources as they study.
So you have to load their PowerPoints, they can't put them on.
You can have them do it themselves if you allow them. But what I've noticed is sometimes students, they're not the most willing, because for them, they think, oh, it's just extra work. So I do this for my students, but after a little while, and you play with this a little bit, and you get a little handle on this, it's really easy, it's really fast. But again, it takes a little time in the beginning to learn how to use all of these functions. Okay? And also I put a link, as you can see here, to mid-semester course feedback, and I do this electronically in my class, and it allows us to be a little more anonymous about what kind of feedback they give us, because they do the handwritten stuff. You can, after a little while, you know who wrote what. And so I think sometimes students are afraid of saying things because they think there are some consequences for this. So using SurveyMonkey, are you familiar with SurveyMonkey? And SurveyMonkey is free too. Everything's free here. And so I give them an opportunity to give me feedback on the course here, and also on the website. So it says, like, how often do you access the class website? And what I noticed, and I can't share with you their information because I don't have approval from Human Subjects Committee, but what I get is most of my students go to this website at least 3 or more times a week. Some go like every day just to listen to the music or read the news or stuff like that. And I think they find that if the teacher does it, then these are more reliable sources, and it's not going to take them to these strange sites that sometimes these links. Okay, well, that is I think we're out of time, and I think everybody is hungry and wanted to go and have lunch. But again, if you go to that website that I put on that handout, you should be able to access the PowerPoint slides to help you get started with creating this website. Okay, thank you very much for coming.